Right, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have departed Libya following a reprehensible hostage incident at Al-Arak Airport. The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, has condemned the action of the Libyan authorities who held Nigeria's Super Eagles and their officials hostage at Al-Bak Airport. The incident occurred after the Nigerian aircraft, originally boarding to Benghazi, was diverted to another city just an hour before landing. The diversion caused significant distress to the Super Eagles team, officials and support staff, who were all stranded and subjected to unnecessary delays. Chairman, Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabri, also condemned the treatment meted out to the Super Eagles team by the Libyan officials ahead of their second leg match billed for Tuesday. In the same vein, the former governor of Abia State, Senator Ojuzo Okalo, condemned the action of the Libyan officials. Senator Okalo calls on CAF to sanction Libya for treating the Super Eagles with such disdain and disregard, believing that the Super Eagles anticipate their enthusiasm ahead of the match. He also alleged that the same treatment was handed down to Enyimba Football Club of Aba when they won CAF Champions League in 2003 and 2004, and then as a governor, he fought it. Osimhen has also taken to social media to show support for his teammates. He said, let me quote him, "I am disappointed by the unfair treatment of my brothers and coaches, the treatment that my brothers and coaches have been subjected to by the Libyan officials. Actions like this go against the spirit of sportsmanship. My support is with my team, and I know they will stay strong despite these obstacles." Super Eagles media officer Promiser Fogue earlier gave an eyewitness overview of what happened. Let's listen to him.
Here's a quick download of what transpired when the Nigerian Super Eagles arrived Libya for the return leg as far as the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers are concerned. The Super Eagles of Nigeria left Ikotekpene, their base, in high spirits, flew a chartered flight into Libya called Al-Bakan to an airport used only for Hajj, and then the pilot only said this to some of the officials of the Nigeria Football Federation not to create any apprehension amongst the players, and we landed in the eastern part of Libya. The initial destination was Benghazi, and we were supposed to land in Benghazi and take a 2-hour trip to Benina, where the game was supposed to be played. And now we were told the team cannot leave the premises of the airport. And initially, the Nigeria Football Federation had made arrangements, logistical arrangements for the team in Benghazi. Our boss was waiting in Benghazi for the team, and on arrival here, no one has a Libyan SIM card. They shut down the Wi-Fi at the airport, so there was no communication whatsoever. No one could communicate with anybody from this location, and so everyone was just in no man's land. So at that point, the Nigeria Football Federation officials were like, okay, you know what, we have to take our destiny in our own hands. Let's find alternatives. Let's see if we can get alternative means of leaving this environment to Benghazi. The Libyans here said the team would not leave. They shut down the airport, shut the gate, and held the team hostage here. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has been alerted. FIFA has been alerted. The federal government of Nigeria has also been alerted on the situation. The game was scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday. The players said they will not kick a ball. These were the antics planned by the Libyans to destabilize the Nigerian Super Eagles. The team is still in the eastern part of Libya, waiting for the federal government's action to get the team back to Nigeria.
Meanwhile, Libya Football Federation has issued a statement in relation to the incident involving the Super Eagles. The Football Federation notes that such incidents can occur due to routine air traffic control protocols, security checks, or logistics challenges that affect international air travel. The Libyan Football Federation adds that it regrets any inconveniences caused by the incident. Well, Well, at this point, a football administrator, David Doherty, joins us live now to, of course, put all of this in bird's eye view. David, very pleased to know that you are there. Well, let me start by asking you to give us your reaction to this unfortunate incident that happened in Libya.
Thank you very much for having me. I think in few words, I think it is pathetic. I think it is disturbing. I wouldn't believe that the Libyans will go this far to try and, disrupt, the balance of the Super Eagles, coming from what the media officer just said about the spirit that the boys were when they actually left Nigeria. But on getting to Libya, it all becomes scary, and these are lads that are not used to all these kind of antics from the Libyan FA board or the team there on the ground. So I think it's disturbing. I think we should take it more than this. I think we shouldn't just put it lightly with them. I think we should make our stand very firm. I think we should let them understand that what they've done should not be repeated again, because I believe, according to what the former governor of Abia State said, that Eyimba also have been subjected to such, in terms of the club tournaments. I think going forward, CAF needs to do more than this. They need to, send a strong warning and also look at ways to sanction Libya. They can't come up with excuses after all they've done and they knew what they were doing.
All right, David, you would say that this is a mind game taken too far, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. I don't really understand what the mind game is anyway. This is a game of football. Why are you trying to disrupt, people from coming into the country, actually coming in to play football? Don't forget they were meant to land in Benghazi, and again, being asked to go to a different airport that is meant for Hajj, and it's not an airport that they actually use maybe for public purposes. But doing all these things, and listen, we're putting life at risk here. Don't forget, these are players and staffs of the Nigerian Football Federation, and being at the airport for 15 good hours, not being allowed to leave the airport, and all that, providing them with some horrible boss afterwards, after those hours, thinking the players will jump on that. And I just want to, say kudos to the boys for staying, together and saying they're not going to kick no ball. And if CAF should look at what best way to do, either to, postpone this or probably, schedule another date for this game.
Earlier in the day, I tried to have conversations with a number of high-profile sporting personalities across, and they told me that, look, we have not heard from the NFF. The NFF should lead in the condemnation of this reprehensible, loathsome behavior from the Libya FA. What does it say that we have not, and we also spoke with a reporter in Abuja who also confirmed that the NFF was yet to put out a statement. What does it say about administration and the role of the NFF in moments like this?
I think at this point in time, don't forget the head of the communication team department is also there. Don't forget, according to what the media officer just said, maybe they haven't been able to make use of any Wi-Fi connection, and this could be an hindrance to them having to put out any communication, whatsoever. Even Boniface also, alluded to this. I think they've just been kept somewhere whereby they don't have ways to reach out, no food, no water, nothing. And you can see the way players are being kept and all the staffs. So I think we should just, maybe give NFF that bit of, space for having not been able to, put out any communication. Maybe they would have reached out to those back home. There should be an assistant media officer back home in Nigeria that would have, been able to reach out. But the question is, are they even able to make our calls or put out anything, further to try and, do something much more concrete in terms of, press release? I think for me, I wouldn't be able to hit at NFF at this point in time. But the most important thing at hand is welfare of these players coming back to Nigeria.
Well, the media officer in his report earlier did say that reports have reached FIFA, reports have also reached the Confederation of African Football. What sort of punishment do you think should be meted out the countries who engage in this kind of behavior?
I think one thing they need to understand is football is meant to bring people together. Football is something that needs to bring communities together, that needs to unite us and not divide us. I think this is something that the Libyans and the likes should probably go back and look at their behavior and look at how badly they've actually behaved, or because you wanted to make a statement or you wanted to disrupt a team from playing. I think FIFA should take it more than this. I think it's a sanction should be meted on them, or maybe some hefty fines as well to actually be meted on them, or maybe them taking away these points. I probably look at best way to do it. I think they need to do something that will make them feel what they did was absolutely disgusting.
The federal government responded to the situation immediately. As we understand, they have left Libya. What do you say in terms of, because when people do well, you also commend them, and when they don't, they get the flags. But in this instance, of course, we can all say yes, they have done well. What's your take on that?
Absolutely, I think the Minister of Youth and Sports, Senator Eno, has actually done the right thing, putting call across, speaking to the CAF president. I read through their press release, and making sure everything is put in place to ensure that the safety of the players first, and also see what is best, and to see on how to ensure that CAF and FIFA actually do the right thing. So I think kudos to the federal government for having coming up to support these lads and ensure that they are on their way back to Nigeria. I think that's the first thing we should be glad about. The federal government, I think, it's spot on their end.
David Doherty, football administrator, we must thank you very kindly for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right, well, let's also tell you that in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, Burkina Faso beat Burundi 2-0. Egypt, Mauritania beat Mauritania 2-0. Ivory Coast thrashed Sierra Leone 4-1. Senegal trounced Malawi 4-0, while Morocco walloped Central African Republic 5-0. There will be more qualifying games across Africa later today, with Liberia taking on Equatorial Guinea. Algeria will travel to play Togo. Eswatini will welcome Mozambique, while Cameroon are away to Kenya. While staying with the incident in Libya, our correspondent Jane Weze, I understand, is live with us now from our Abuja studio to also talk about this. Well, Jane, tell us, what else do you know beyond what we already know at the moment?